Hi everybody, it's Crystal. So today I have a beanie for you. Now this is the distorted reality beanie. It's great for a man or a woman, as you've seen there in the pictures. Here is the crown. And then we have a couple rows of single crochet in the middle of excuse me, some front post and back post. So for this particular beanie here, you will need to know how to single crochet, double crochet, front post double, and back post double. I do believe that might be all the stitches, slip stitch of course, and chain, but I think that's it. So if you can do all those, certainly you can do this. And if you can't do all those, well, you can sure give it a try. So you've seen in the thumbnail that one of them is solid. There's two there, one of them solid. This is the solid one. And the other one is two-toned. I have not made that yet, but we're going to make it in the video. I always don't make it, and then I put the thumbnail on later. So this is about it's about 8 inches, and it would fit anywhere between 19 and 23 inches because, of course, yarn is stretchy. Now, if you do want to make this a slouchy, I suggest, be very easy to do. Do another row. This is like a repeat set right here. I would do another. You could do another repeat set row depending on how long you want your slouchy to be. You could do 2 repeat set rows. It's up to you. But that's how you would make it a slouchy. You just do these, another set of repeats or 2 sets of repeats. And then when you get done with that, you could do your brim on the back. So, for the yarn that was used, and it's the same yarn that for both of them. So the gray one is Premier Basic, which is a 100% acrylic, medium weight, number 4. And there are 359 yards in this ball here, and it probably took about 250 yards for this hat because there are quite a few post stitches. It does take, post stitches sometimes eat up a little bit of yarn. Plus the crown and all the way down is a bit bigger, and then we do make it smaller towards the bottom. And the color of this one is just gray. So that's the solid color one here that you see. And then the one that was two-toned that we're going to be making in the video is also Premier Basic. So same stats on that. And the color light mauve. All right. You guys want to go ahead and do it? Okay. We're going to be using a size I, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. Let's do it. All right, so this beanie is worked from the top down. So we will be starting with a circle, and if you choose to use the magic ring or whatever it is, that would be just fine. I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is start with a slip knot on my hook, and I'm going to work a chain of 5 will be all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to slip stitch into that first stitch. I'm going to throw my tail over. I always put my middle finger in between the hook and the chain, and then I slip stitch, and that is the ring that we will be working in right there. Now I'm going to chain 1, and that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. It's not going to count as a stitch at the beginning of any of the rows that I do for this particular hat, all right? So I'm going to hide this tail as I go. What we're going to do is we need to work 10 double crochets through the center of the ring. So we need 10 of them. So we're going to yarn over and go through the ring, and we grab our working yarn and draw it back up, and then we do a double crochet as normal. And since that chain 1 does not count as a stitch, we now have 1 double crochet, and we want to continue in that same manner until we have a total of 10 through the ring. There's 2, there's 3, and I'm going to continue around, and I'll see you when I get finished with my 10. All right, so I got my 10 double crochets through my ring. You can usually pull that tail, close up your center circle. If not, you can sew it together, or hide this tail in at the end and sew it up. Now we're going to end round 1 by slip stitching into our first double crochet. Not the chain 1, but the first double. And that ends row 1. And now we will start row 2 with the chain 1. And please remember that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. All right, so row 2, we are going to put a front post double crochet around our first stitch. And we want to go around that chain 1 as well. So we're going to yarn over and go in between that chain 1 there, and then around from the back, and then back out the side of the first stitch. See that? And then we'll just do our double crochet like normal. So a post double crochet is a regular double crochet. It's just done around the post of the stitch instead of in top of in top of it, in the top of it. So there is a front post double crochet around our first stitch. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go in between these next 2 stitches, the one that we just went around and the next one. We're not going to work into the top of it. We're going to work in between. All right, and we're just going to work a double crochet just right in between. See that? Not in the top of the stitch, but right in between it, and put a double crochet. And this is what we are going to repeat all the way around. So the next stitch itself is going to get a front post double crochet. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to go around the post of the stitch from the front like that. The front of the post is on the front, or the post is on the front of your hook. That's why it's called the front post. And then we yarn over and do our double crochet like normal. And then again, we're going to go in between the next 2 stitches. We're going in between the one that we just worked the post, or the double crochet around the post, and the next one that has not been worked. We do not go into the top of it. We go in between and do 1 double crochet. And again, we're going to repeat this all the way around. So our next stitch right here is a front post double crochet. And then in between the one that we just worked in and the next one that's not worked, a double crochet in between, not in the top, but in between. And we will repeat this all the way around. So each one of those 10 stitches is getting a front post double crochet around it, and then in between every stitch is getting a regular double crochet. All right, and we're just going to continue this for round 2 until we make it back to our starting point. And when you make it back around, you are going to have double the amount of stitches. We will have 20 stitches when we make it to the end of round 2. All right, I'm coming to the end of round 2, and I just did a front post double crochet around my last stitch. And you always want to make sure we have to do a regular double crochet in between the last front post double crochet and the first one. All right, so go right in between there and do just a regular double, and we have now 20 stitches. You'll have 10 post stitches and 10 regular double crochets, and we're going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into our first double like that. And now we can begin round 3 with a chain of 1. All right, now we're going to increase again. We're going to double up again. All right, are you ready? We are going to start off with a front post double crochet around the first stitch, and remember that we always do go around that chain 1. So right through there, and front post double crochet like that. Now if it feels tight to you, don't worry, you'll loosen up later. All right. Then we're going to go, and we're going again, we are going to put a double crochet in between the last stitch that we just worked and the next stitch that's not worked. We're doing kind of like we did on the row before. All right, so not going into the top of it, but in between, and putting a regular double crochet. Actually, we are doing what we did before, except for we're just doing it around more stitches. So we're gonna front post around the next stitch, and double crochet in between the stitch that we just worked in the next empty one, not in the top of it, but right in between them. Double crochet and repeat. Front post double crochet around the next one, and double crochet in between the one we just worked and then one that's next to it, right in between. And we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. So every single stitch this time, every front post from the previous row, and every double from the previous row will be a post stitch. All right, every one of these stitches is going to be a front post double crochet, and there's going to be a regular double crochet in between each one. So we're doubling up on our stitches again. So when we make it to the end of round 3, we're going to have 40 stitches. All right, I'll meet back up with you near the end of round 3. All right, I'm coming to the end of round 3, and again we want to make sure that we put a regular double crochet in between these last 2 stitches, because we just did a front post and we began with a front post, so we got to make sure we put a double crochet in between that space. And we got our 40 stitches now. We're going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into our first double, which will end round 3. So we got 20 post stitches, 20 double crochets. Now we are going to go ahead and start round 4. Now round 4, we are not going to do any increasing on this round, so we're going to chain 1, and what we're going to do is we are going to do a front post double crochet around the first stitch. Make sure you hit up that chain 1 and go around that one, go around that as well, like that. So we're going to do a front post double crochet into that first stitch, and the next stitch here is just that's a regular double crochet. We're going to do a back post stitch around that one. So we're going to yarn back post double. So we're going to yarn over and go around the stitch from the back side like that, and then back around to where your hook pops out the back. So now the post is on the back of your hook. That's why it's the back post stitch. And then we go ahead and yarn over and pull it through, and then we do a double crochet like normal. That's a back post. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to repeat front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, and back post double crochet. So our front post doubles will always stay lined up here on this row, and our back post doubles are always going to go into that regular double crochet from the previous row. So our next stitch is going to be a front post double crochet, and then the next one here, I know it's kind of cramped, but it'll loosen up right there, back post double crochet, repeat it, front post double, and it's going around the front post double from the previous row, and a back post double right here around that regular double crochet from the previous row. We're going to back post around it, and I'm going to keep repeating this pattern, the front post double and the back post double. Just remember that the front post, they always stay lined up, and the back post always go where there was a regular double crochet on the previous row. And when you make it to the end of round 4, you will still have 40 stitches, since we're not increasing this time, and you will end in a back post double crochet. All right, see you in a second. All right, I'm coming to the end of round 4. My last stitch was a back post double crochet, and I still have my 40 stitches. You got 20 front posts, 20 back posts, and we're going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into our first double crochet, which will first post stitch there, which will end round 4, and we can begin around 5 with the chain 1. All right, we're going to increase this row again. We are going to start off with a front post double crochet into this first one. Always remember that we do go around that chain 1 for the first one. So front post double crochet, and then we are going to put a double crochet, regular double crochet, in between the stitch that we just worked and in between this back post double crochet. So in between them, we're not going to go into the top of it. We're just going to do a double crochet right in the spot in between them, and then we are going to do a back post double crochet around the back post double crochet from the previous row. Just like that. So that is a repeat for row 5. Let's do that again. So we're going to do a front post double crochet around the next stitch, which is a front post double crochet. We're keeping our front post stitches lined up, and then we are doing a regular double crochet in between the front post that we just worked and this back post here from the previous row. We're going in between them and doing a regular double, just right in there, just doing a double crochet like that. And then we're going to do a back post double crochet around the back post double crochet from the previous row. So we're keeping our back post lined up as well, and that is a repeat as well. Repeat again. We're going to do, let's do it again. Front post double crochet into the next stitch, which is a front post double crochet, regular double crochet in between the front post that we just did and the back post that's next. This regular double crochet is actually what's increasing it, like that. And then a back post double crochet around that back post double from the previous row. So we're going to continue this pattern all the way around. We're working front post double crochets in every front post, back post double crochets in every back post, and then we are working, let me do a front post double crochet here, a regular double crochet in between the front post double crochet and the unworked back post double crochet. So go right in it and double crochet. Now I say the unworked one, the next stitch we do the back post, because we do not put a double crochet in between the, or after we done the back post, we don't put a double crochet in between here. All right, we just start again. After we do the back post, we just start the repeat again with a front post double crochet, and then a regular double crochet in between the worked front post and the unworked back post, so in between them, and then we do a back post double crochet around the back post from the previous row, and that is the repeat that we're going to do all the way around. Then we start again with the front post double crochet. All right, I'm going to go ahead and repeat this pattern all the way around, and when you make it back around, we're going to have 60 stitches this time around. All right, I'll see you in a second. All right, so I've come to the end of round 5, and you should have ended in a back post double crochet. I have 60 stitches now. We're going to go ahead and slip stitch into our first stitch to end that round, and we can start round 6. We will not be increasing on this round, so we're going to chain 1, And what we're going to do is a front post double crochet in the first stitch. Remember to always go around that chain 1. So front post double. And now in the next stitch, which was that regular double crochet, remember I said that increased it, we're going to put a front post double crochet around that stitch as well. So that's 2 front post double crochets that we just did in a row. And in the next stitch, which is a back post double crochet from the previous row, we're going to do a back post double crochet around it. So we're keeping our post still lined up, and that right there is the repeat for round 6. So we're going to put a front post double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So one of them is a front post, one of them is that regular double crochet, and then we will do a back post double crochet into the back post from the previous row. And that's what we will continue to repeat. So I'm going to do a front post double crochet, and then the next stitch will be a front post double crochet, and the next stitch, which is a back post, we're going to put a back post double crochet around it, just like that. And that's the repeat. Let's do it again. Front post double crochet into the next 2. So here's 1 front post, and then the next one, front post double crochet around it, and the next one is the back post. Sometimes he hides, but he's there. Back post double crochet excuse me, around him. And we're going to keep repeating this pattern all the way around. Front post double, back post. Front post double, back post. So we're still keeping our front post doubles lined up and our back post doubles lined up, and we're making that regular double crochet from the previous round a front post double crochet. So I'm going to continue this around for round 6, and when we make it back around, we're still going to have 60 stitches. Alright, I'm coming to the end of round 6. Your last stitch should have been a back post double crochet, and we're going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into our first stitch, and you will still have 60 stitches. And we're going to go ahead and start round 7 by chaining 1. Now we're going, round 7 is an increase row, and it is our last increase row for the crown. So we're going to start off by doing the front post double crochet in the first stitch. Make sure you get that chain 1 there included in that, like that. Front post double. The next stitch, we're going to front post double crochet around that. It is a front post double from the previous row. The next stitch is the back post double from the previous row. We're going to put a back post double around that. And now we're going to do the increase. Now the increase goes here in between the back post double that we just worked and the front post double that is unworked. So it goes right after the back post double. After we do the back post double, in between it and the next stitch, we work a regular double crochet just in that space. Just like that. And that is the repeat for round 7. Again, we're going to do a front post double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So there's 1 front post, and the next one is another front post, and then our back post. He's hiding, but we'll find him. There he is. Back post double around that back post double from the previous row, and then our regular double crochet goes in between the back post double that we just worked and the next stitch. So right there in that spot, we just put a regular double crochet. Remember, we're not going into the top of the stitch, but just in between them. And that's the repeat again. Let's do it one more time. We're going to do a front post double into the next 2 stitches, So we're just still keeping our post stitches lined up. So there's front post double, and then we have to do a back post double around the back post double. Like that. And then we put our regular double crochet here, right after the back post double that we just worked, and in between the next stitch. Remember, not in top of it, but in the space in between them. Regular double crochet, and that ends the repeat. And we're just going to keep repeating that pattern. 2 front post double crochets, 1, here's 2, a back post double crochet around the back post double from the previous row, and then a regular double crochet in between the back post that we just worked and the next front post that is not worked yet, right in there. And we're going to continue this all the way around, and when you make it back around to the end of round 7, we're going to have a total of 80 stitches. Alright, so I'm coming to the end of round 7, and I just did a back post double crochet, and you want to make sure you put that one last regular double crochet after this back post here, in between this back post and our very first front post, and that's going to give you 80 stitches. That's what we want. Go ahead and end by round 7 by slip stitching into your first one. Now let's pull it up a bit and let's take a quick measure of the crown. I like to shoot anywhere between 6 and 7, well, depending on the hat. Most hats, some are different, but this one anywhere in between 6 and 7 inches, and you shall be good to go. And I am at 6.5. I will take it. All right, let's move on. Okay, so we're done increasing now. We've got the crown part done. We are going to start round 8, and we're going to chain 1. Now what we're going to do is a front post double crochet into the first stitch. Always get that chain 1 in there in that first one. And then we're going to do a front post double crochet into the next, which is a front post double from the previous row. And then we're going to put a back post double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So we're putting a back post double crochet into the back post from the previous row, and also around the post of this regular double crochet that we did on the previous row. So we're going to go ahead and back post right around that one, and then back post right around this regular double crochet from the previous row. And that is the increase, that is the repeat of row 8. 2 front post doubles, 2 back post doubles, 2 front post doubles, and 2 back posts. So again, let's do a front post double in each of the next 2 stitches. There's 1. Go to the next one, front post double, and then the next one is a back post double from the previous row. So we're going to back post double, and we're going to back post double around the next, which happens to be that double crochet from the previous row. And that ends the repeat again. And this is what we're going to repeat all the way around for round 8. Remember, we are not doing any more increasing. So 80 stitches is our magic number. Until we get near the brim, we will decrease a bit. But I'm going to continue around. I'm putting 2 front post doubles and then 2 back post doubles. 2 front post doubles and 2 back post doubles. Just like that. And when we make it back around here at the end of row 8, 80 stitches is what we'll have. Alright, so I've come to the end of row 8, and you should have had 2 back post double crochets there. 80 stitches still, and we're going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into our first stitch. Now, if you want to make it solid, you don't have to switch colors. I'm going to switch colors here to make the two-tone one. All right, so I'm just going to tie this off, clip it, and start my new yarn in the same spot. And if you're not switching colors, well, you would just chain one, and we'll go ahead and start row 9. So let me go ahead and start in the same spot so we can be on the same place here. So I'm going to put my hook in the same spot that I just slip stitched into, pulling my new color through, and I'm going to hide these tails as I go. All right, so rows 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 are the repeat rows. 5-row repeat. All right, but they're really easy. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll start row 9. So row 9 and 10 are the exact same thing, and it's the rows that we, and every time we repeat them is what I switch colors on. But remember, you don't have to switch colors. So I'm going to chain 1, and all it is a single crochet in every single stitch. So we're not putting any post stitches. We're going to go right back into that same stitch and single crochet. Like I said, I'm going to hide those tails as I go. And I'm going to work around, and I'm going to put 1 single crochet into the top of every stitch all the way around the entire hat. And this is row 9. And when I make it to the end of row 9, I'll have 80 stitches still. 80 single crochets. And then I'm going to end with a slip stitch into my first single crochet, and I'm going to repeat it again. I'm going to chain 1 and do another row of 1 single crochet in every stitch. So 9 and 10 are the exact same thing. They're 2 rows of 1 single crochet in every stitch, and we will have 80 stitches at the end of every row. So I'm on row 9 now, and when I'm finished with this one, I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to repeat it and finish out row 10, and I'll have 2 rows of single crochet after that, and I will meet back up with you at the end of row 10. All right. All right, so I've made it to the end of row 10. I have done 2 rows of single crochet, and I'm going to switch my color back. If you're not changing colors, just keep your color on the hook. So I'm going to tie this off, and you can make it solid like I said, or you can change colors like me, or you can change colors whenever you want. I only am going to change colors on the 2 rows of single crochets, and every time we repeat that, and then on the brim as well. But you do it however you like. So let me go ahead and bring in my other color for around 11, and I'm just going to start it in the same spot. That way, if you did not change colors, we'll both be at the same spot. I still got my 80 stitches here, and we'll go ahead and begin around 11. Hide my tails as I go, as always, with a chain 1. And now this is just going to be a row of double crochet. So we're just going to go right back into that same stitch and double crochet. And we're going to work around, and we're going to put 1 double crochet into every stitch all the way around. Just like this. So around 11, 1 double. Every single stitch. When you make it back around, you will have 80 double crochets. So I will see you in 1 split second. All right, I'm coming to the end of row 11, and I have done 1 double crochet in every stitch, 80 double crochets. I'm going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into my first stitch here, so we can start row 12. Now, rounds 12 and 13 are exactly the same as well. So we will do them both the same way. We're going to chain 1, and we are going to do a front post double crochet in the first 2 stitches. Make sure you get that chain 1 in there. So we're going to do a front post double crochet. And in the next one, another front post double crochet. And then we are going to back post double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So back post double. Sorry, I'm going to do that one over. Okay, back post double. And then back post double into the next. And that is the repeat. It's 2 front post doubles and 2 back post doubles. 2 front post doubles and 2 back post doubles. So I'm going to go ahead again and repeat. We're going to do 2 front post doubles, 1 in each of the next stitch. So there's 1 front post into the next, and then back post, 1 in each of the next 2. So back post double, and in the next one, back post double. Just like that. And this is what we're going to do all the way around for round 12, keeping our 80 stitches. 2 front post, 2 back post, 2 front post, 2 back posts. And when we make it back around into round 12, round 13 will be the same. Except for when you do round 13, you'll be keeping your post stitches lined up. You'll do 2 front posts, 2 back posts around the back post, 2 front posts around the front post, 2 back posts around the back post, 2 front posts, 2 back posts. So it's the same thing. This is you're working in post stitches instead of double crochets. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this for row around 12. 2 front post double crochets, and then 2 back post double crochets, 2 front post, and then 2 back post. And when I make it to the end, I'll have 80 stitches. I will end with a slip stitch into my first stitch, and then I'm going to, for round 13, I'm going to repeat round 12, working at 2 front post doubles and 2 back post doubles, just like I'm doing now. And when you make it to the end of that row, you will also again have 80 stitches. So I'm going to finish out round 12 here. 2 front post, 2 back post, 2 front post, 2 back post, slip stitch in my first double crochet or first stitch, chain 1, and a repeat for round 13. 2 front post, 2 back post, 2 front post, 2 back post. And I will meet up with you after I finished out round 13. Remember, we're on round 12 now. We're going to do round 13, which is exactly the same repeat. 2 front post, 2 back post. I'll see you at the end of round 13. Alright, so I finished out round 13. I repeated 12 and 13 there. And this is what it looks like. So now all it is just a repeat of the 2 rows of single crochet, the 1 row of double, and then the 2 rows of 2 front posts and 2 back posts. So it's you're just repeating rows 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So from the 2 rows of singles, a regular row of double, and 2 rows of 2 front posts and 2 back posts together. Now remember, you can change colors if you want. So right now, when I start my repeat again, I'm going to switch colors at the 2 single crochet rows. You don't have to. This is the plain one. It looks really nice, or not plain. It's the solid color one. It looks really nice that way too. So here's where we're at here's where we're at right now, and we're getting ready to start the repeat, and we're going to repeat it one more time. So those 5 more rows, and I'll meet back up with you after you finish your last row of 2 front posts, 2 back posts. Remember, there's 2 rows of those that you have to repeat, your last row, and then we'll put the brim on, and we have to do a decrease row to make it a little bit smaller. But But if you do, remember, if you want to make it a slouchy, you might want to repeat this section again before you put, or maybe twice. I don't know, everybody likes their slouchies different lengths, however long you want it to be. Just remember, we are going to put a little bit of a brim on it, so you can do the brim however big you want, but that's about how big I did mine. So I'm going to do one more set of repeats, so you can see right here where I'm at. I'm right here. So I'm going to start right here again with my gray, and then I'm going to switch to pink and finish this out, and I'll meet up here with you when it's time to start doing a single crochet again. Alright, so I did that repeat again, the 2 rows of singles, the 1 row of double, and then the 2 rows of front post doubles and 2 rows of back post doubles. So now I'm switching colors again. You don't have to, and we're going to put this little brim on it now. If you want to, you don't have to. You can do whatever you want. So what we have stopped at, you want to start back in the same spot, is 80 stitches is what you should have. Now, if you want to keep that number of 80, that is fine. You can do that. I'm going to decrease mine down to 70. And if you want, I'll tell you how to decrease it down to 60. It really just depends on how tight or, you know, how you like the fit of it on your head. So we're at 80 stitches now. And if you don't want to decrease, all you have to do is, this part is just doing rows of single crochet until you get it the size that you know, as long as you want your brim to be. If you do want to decrease, take the 80 stitches down to 70. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go back into that same stitch that I just started in, and I'm going to single crochet, and I'm going to do 6 single crochets in a row. So that would be number 1, and I'm going to go to the next stitch, and 2, and the next one, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we got 6 single crochets in a row, and then I'm going to do a single crochet decrease, which is worked over 2 stitches. So we go into the next stitch and draw up a loop, and in the next one draw up a loop, 3 loops, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops. And this is what we're going to repeat all the way around. Is six single crochets, and then a single crochet decrease, 6 single crochets, and then a single crochet decrease. And then you will, when you get back to your starting point, you will have 70 stitches. All right, let's see here, how many have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'll go ahead and do my decrease. All right, and I'm going to repeat that pattern all the way around, and I'll see you back at the starting point. All right, I made it all the way around, and I have 70 stitches. So I'm not going to decrease anymore. I'm going to put a stitch marker here, and I'm just going to work rounds of single crochet until I get my brim the size that I want it to be. This hat has, counting that decreased row, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of single crochet on it, counting the one that we just did. But you can do as many as you want. Now, if you do want to decrease down one more time to 60 stitches, I can tell you how to do that. What you would do is just do 1 single crochet and 5 stitches, and then decrease over the next, and repeat that all the way around. 1 single crochet and 5, and decrease into the next. And that will, when you get back around, reduce down to 60 stitches. That is if you want it tighter, all right? But for me, I'm just going to jump to my next first single crochet here, and I'm going to single crochet into it, and I'm going to work around putting 1 single crochet in every stitch, and I have 70 stitches is my number. And when I make it back to my marker, I'll just move it up and go around again. And you want to do this for however many rows you want your brim to be. I would imagine I'll probably do the same as the other, which was 4 counting the decrease rows, so this would be number 2 for me. But whatever you want is up to you. So I'll see you here when I get finished with this part. Alright, there it is. There's the one I made with two-tone or 2 colors, and here is the solid one. So I hope that you enjoyed my tutorial. I hope that you were able to follow along okay. Don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button, and check out all my other tutorials. I have many, hundreds and hundreds. Anything you could ever want to make, and multiples of them. So I'll see you on my next video, whatever that might be. Take care.